Butchie. I covered election 2004, 2008, 12, 16, 20. I have never seen a presidential candidate, whether in opposition or in government, focusing his campaign to the people about policy initiatives and policies that have been achieved. I also covered the UK election in 2001 for Tony Blair, and I covered also the UK election in 2019. You will find in those places that they were always articulating policy, what can be done, what can be solved. You will find here in all of those historical elections that we were not doing that until Mahama Bawumia arrived on the scene. Mr. Vice President, whatever happens in December, you have changed the politics of Ghana and Africa for a long time to come. I have nothing more useful to add except that God bless you.
Into we say in commission, it's a 2024 election, I bet to December 7th. Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia be win.
It's done deal, it's sealed.
Hey,
it's settled.
Asem KCSA.
Yes, Dr. Bawumia will do when you vote a region, which Kufoni Nanado Kravu, so Obe appreciate.
Essay, and it's in honor of him that I'm wearing black. I know many activities are taking place. I'm putting my tribute together, and I'll share with you exactly who I knew Herman was. It's a great guy, completely great guy, and I'll be sharing that with you later on. I think this week there are vigils that are being organized by his friends. We'll all be there to attend. It's a very major blow to happen at this time. I'll even share with you, if the family permits, my last WhatsApp messages with him. We were talking about politics, as we often do. And if the family permits, I'll share with you, but I have to show the family first. So that process is ongoing. What's the time now? It's 9:30, sharp, on the spot. So we've been here for a few hours, and we were doing an interview. We conducted an interview here earlier, an hour ago or so, and then you're going to see all of it. It's a very interesting interview. Parts of it are controversial. Maybe I'll lead you into some of the behind the scenes. So once you see the behind the scenes, you know what kind of interview it was. We'll come back to the studio, do our normal introduction, take our text message, take our break, and then we swing straight into the interview. This is Good Evening Ghana. It's live from Metro TV. These are some of the behind the scenes that occurred sometime around 8:10 earlier today in the studio.
No, the last time there was a problem with this camera. No, this camera. It will wait some time, but you come with your no, as for the white shot, I can open the exposure more or whatever. The guest shots are really important for me.
The first is for the backlight.
Because even me, I would prefer this to be on. So are you saying that we can't use that light to fill the face?
When they get the light, like both sides. But don't catch everything use like wait and come out wherever.
I see already. You have to have person around.
Yeah.
But why do you think that's that? But we'll answer the one we start out. So like fresh. So that you can use it as a new that. What is it like? That's right to still eventually feel out. Are you ready? Look. This is the setup for the evening. That's nice. Yes, please. They are yes. Yeah, that's good. You will sit here.
So I sit here.
Yes.
In case you have me, you can adjust the chair, this one, the table, as in how you
Yes.
So in case you want to take some short or something, okay. The Bosman will sit there and do that. The whole idea is to have some spotlights, one-on-one, or like
So you turn on the lights.
yes, so it's just a spotlight. Alright, cool.
So let's start it.
Yeah, it's very bad.
Alexa. What's your trying to steal the election for the MPP? How are you going to steal the election for the MPP?
Oh, elections in Ghana.
They don't trust the process.
Elections in Ghana can never be stolen.
Yes.
Can never.
So we'll be asking you questions about the NDC's complaint. You have issued a statement. And I'll be asking you also about the day of the balloting. How does it work? What's the process? When they arrive, what happens? Who picks the ballot first? Who picks second? What's the rationale behind independent candidates coming after? When the parties were balloting, did they know that independent candidates will ballot later?
Oh, communicate with
Okay. I'm not doing welcome. I'm just going to speak to you.
Yeah, so we'll do the welcome right.
So Bosman Asare of the Electoral Commission was in the studio earlier today. We finished the interview around 8:30, and we're going to show it to you. What did we ask him? We asked him about what happens in the balloting room. Why did they ballot the presidential candidates first? We also asked him, he gave us some insights. You know, we didn't know that the balloting is a two-tier exercise. Candidates first pick a paper to indicate when they will pick. As you get me, it's very complicated. So you show up, you pick a paper to say, I will be picking my ballot as the second person, as the first person, as the third person. That itself is balloted. Initially, we thought that the party that presents its documents first, that is the first party to pick. Yes, that's also true. The party that presents its nomination forms first is the first to pick. But what they are picking is picking the spots, picking the number, how do I say it? Picking the time that they will pick their position on the ballot paper. So if you pick one, it means you will pick your position on the ballot paper first. If you pick two, it means you will pick your position on the ballot paper second. So there are two forms of it. The first one, the numbers are written in black. The second one, the actual and the numbers are written in red. He told us all of that. You'll be hearing him. And then we asked him about the NDC have been concerned about some specific issues that the Electoral Commission has responded. But we went to the NDC statement and asked him details about it. We also asked him whether the comments made by a commissioner was biased when he said that if the NDC had been looking at the process, they would have known that in 2016 this and this happened. The other important thing that Bosman told us, what happens on voting day? After you cast your ballot at the polling station, what happens? How can you be cheated? How should you be sure that you're not cheated? Who are the Electoral Commission officials? Where did they draw them from? How many are they? He also told us that this year we're going to have over 40,000 polling stations. All of that interview coming up tonight on Good Evening Ghana. Once we get rolling and we get some traction. Okay, welcome to the show again. I'll hit the touch screen now, do our preliminary work, and then our people can look at it. Yeah, this is the first story I wanted to start with today. And it's also, again, a testimony about Mahama Bawumia and how he's able to bring people together. Here's Boakye Ejakun, our former energy minister, who was apparently fired from the Akufo-Addo administration by the president. All kinds of allegations have been made about why Boakye left the government. Boakye has not been on very good terms with the government, and he actually contested to be presidential candidate. Here is Boakye, who has been brought into the campaign by Mahama Bawumia. It's a testimony of the magnetic skill of Mahama Bawumia to be able to bring people who are even upset with some of his supporters like Akufo-Addo. Richard Anane is in Kumasi. He doesn't like Akufo-Addo. He's supporting Bawumia. Boakye Ejakun is here. He's launching a full campaign. It's entitled Operation One Touch for Bawumia. And I'm sure this is coming from the research that was organized by the Office of the President, which indicated that the MPP can win the election, but they have to be careful about scandals and decision-making. That was very, very important research. And the research also indicated that it looks like the presidential candidate is neck and neck. They didn't say quite about parliament. We're not sure who is winning the parliament. Do we know? Tell me if you know who is winning the parliament. But it looks like the presidential is neck and neck. And that has woken up the MPP people to go and campaign so that they don't have a second round, so they can win a first round. So you see Boakye Ejakun titles his campaign as Operation One Touch for Bawumia, and the community engagements he's going to Ahafo, Bono East, Northeast, Northern, Upper East, Western North, Ashanti, Central, Greater Accra, Oti, Savannah, Volta, Upper West, Bono, and Eastern. And if you know Boakye Jackson, you know anything about him, he has a lot of energy. He's a guy with a tough tower. Boakye is a tough tower. And he has a lot of energy, and he's a very, very intelligent man. And this is how politicians should be. Reconciliation should be a very important aspect of a politician's campaign. If you are a great politician and you are the leader of the party, you should be able to reconcile people and bring them together and bring them on board. And that's what it looks like Mahamudu Bawumia is very, very adept at doing. Here's Boakye Jackson joining the Bawumia campaign. We'll see what happens after that. Let's go straight to some of the photographs on the campaign. Some people meet me in the street and they say they like the photographs on the campaign that we show. We're going to start with Denchira, where Mahamudu Bawumia has been spending some time. Later on, we'll go to John Dramani Mahama's photographs. We'll show you some comments on the flyer, and then we have a Galamsey story. We have a little bit about the police and the Galamsey people, and we're very concerned about the report that was done by the CNN guy. We think it was completely biased, and I'm going to show you the report and talk about it. He said the protesters were peaceful. We don't know where he got his information from. This kind of propaganda is not very good. CNN is a very important cable news network doing that. I mean, I was surprised. I see this reporter on television all the time. Doesn't he know that there's all the time pattern is a rule of reporting? It's not just a rule of legal practice, it's a rule of reporting. You cannot report one side of the matter and say the demonstrators said they were peaceful and police have arrested and the police have denied everything that the demonstrators have said. But in the CNN report, he carries over the narrative of the demonstrators as if that is law, and I think that is very terrible. In any case, we are concerned about how the police are handling people who have not been pronounced guilty by a court, and that's always very important. The reason why we practice innocence until proven guilty in this society, which is the British Anglo-Saxon common law, is because guilty until proven innocent means that if you're on trial, you have to be treated as normal. And a court can deny you bail. Yes, they may, but you can file an application to the court to receive the bail. So we understand from grapevine that there's a meeting going on around this time between the police and selected media, explaining to them the police position. I think the police communication has not been forthcoming as it should be, and we'll have time tonight to deal with all that. Let's get to the politics of the campaign as we look at Mahamudu Bawumia's campaign here in Denchira, in the central region, or if you like, the Ashanti part of the central region. It looks like it was quite mammoth over there. This is Mahamudu Bawumia shaking hands with the people. Oh, that's Rudolph, the parliamentary candidates for one of the Denchira constituencies. Rudolph's constituency is where Mahamudu Bawumia is right now, and is talking to people and hoping that, oh, this is beautiful. I like these photographs. I mean, the democracy in Ghana is sufficiently entrenched, because if you compare this to some of the events that we saw in other campaigns in 92 and 96, the way in which people come out for both leading political parties, the way in which they come out is very, very interesting. And you could see that really we are beginning to accept the every 4-year voting process and running our country by a constitution, not by the gun of a military ruler. This is Bawumia in the marketplace, engaging with all of these market women on voting. Oh, now he's in the draft center. He is playing the green draft, and is he winning or is he losing? This is absolutely interesting. And then he settles down in a hall. And I like the way the political parties organize their campaigns. It seems very, very well organized, particularly well. I see the clergy in the front seat as well. This is looking really, really good. Not just for the MPP, but for Ghana as a democracy. Wow, this one is a photograph of the year. This photograph is the photograph of the year. Please, can you put it on the screen? Yeah, there it is on the screen for viewers to see. Ah, look at the guy. Okay, let's take it small, one by one by one. Rastaman, of course, you always go to Rastaman first, you know, because Jah will never give the power to the bald head, you know. Jah will never give the power to the bald head. Rastaman is, I don't know whether they are singing or they are responding to a hip, 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 hooray, but you can see the genuineness of their excitement at being where they are and being there for a political candidate and a flag bearer. I don't know whether they are celebrating about Ghana card or they are celebrating mobile money interoperability, which has made every Ghanaian adult Ghanaian's life better. Mobile money interoperability has made every Ghanaian adult's lives better. And perhaps they are celebrating that as one of the doings of Mahamudu Bawumia and the New Patriotic Party. Or perhaps they are celebrating free SHS, which is an essential doing of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the outgoing president. I don't know what they are celebrating, but they are definitely celebrating something that they're excited about. Mahama Bawumia lifted the hands of a candidate with the midst of... Oh, wow. What's this lady saying? These are one of the free SHS graduates whose parents and herself must be very excited that the new patriotic party had put together a policy like that. More of this coming in as voters are shaking hands with Mahama Bawumia, and always does with the traditional authority. Oforesiama, the Minister for Transport, is over there in the photograph, and Mahama Bawumia is meeting with some of these important chiefs and leaders. And now this is in one of the halls in Denchira as he's keeping the campaign. Yeah, we have seen this photograph already, haven't we? Okay, so that was a campaign for Mahama Bawumia. Let's shift on to John Dramani Mahama and his campaign, and what are people saying about it. That's John Mahama. Where is he here? I see Collins Dowda, so he's in the Bono Ahafo region, because that's Collins Dowda and that's Joshua Alabi. Collins Dowda is a member of parliament, I believe, for the area. Joshua Alabi is managing the campaign of John Dramani Mahama, and he's addressing people here, shaking hands with their constituency. So that must be Collins Dowda's constituency, because there is Collins Dowda in your shot over there. This is John Mahama sitting down and listening to the chiefs. It's also very good that all the campaigns treat the chiefs particularly good. This is COP Kofi Boakye, the retired police officer who is, I believe, looking after the security of John Dramani Mahama. He's the one on the right-hand side corner. Put the photograph there again. COP Kofi Boakye, our good friend, is the one on the right-hand corner of your shot. He works with President Mahama, and he's helping him to put his security together. COP Kofi Boakye is there in your shot with the chief also there in the BA region. Is it Domahini I'm seeing? I believe this will then be the Bono Regional House of Chiefs. Domahini is on the far right in his resplendent kente and his beautiful wristwatch. Is that him? I'm hoping that it is. It looks like him. No. It's not. Oh, okay. I'm being corrected. That is not Domahini. But this is also happening in the BA region. One of the Queen Mothers taking her turn to speak. More chiefs. Why are there so many photographs of chiefs? John Dramani Mahama, the former president and the NDC flag bearer. There you go. In the wider shot, you can see them in a room with all the media and attendance people there. This is the BA area, and President Mahama is speaking to them. Joyce Bauer, as usual, is making her notes so that he will tell the presidential candidate what to say. More of the chiefs from the Bono region in your shot over there. That is Ambassador Kojo Graham. In the green shirt in the background is Ambassador Kojo Graham, very close friends with Kofi Boakye, who is also supporting John Dramani Mahama's campaign. Kojo Graham is a distinguished barrister in Accra. That's him over there supporting John Mahama's campaign. Okay, this is also President Mahama in a handshake with some of the chiefs, with Joshua Alabi looking on. So that's the campaigns for John Dramani Mahama and Mahamadu Bawumia, the vice president. Okay, so we're pushing Good Evening Ghana up to the big interview with Bosman Asare, which has already been recorded. We'll show to you in a minute. We're able to ask him all the questions we hope we gathered correctly. All right, we have something to say about Galamsey and the police and all of those things. Should we go to that now? No, now we have the flyer and the comments from the flyer. So we put up a flyer as follows. The most anticipated interview of the week is on. Reply with your comments and it will be addressed tonight. Conversations with Bosman Asare. Is he and the EC biased against the NDC? Can the EC rig elections in 2024? Please don't miss this one. It's a bombshell. See you at the top at 9 o'clock. And what did people say? We begin with Abdul Razak, who says that I believe elections are won at the polling station. Both parties should rather concentrate on getting strong party agents to mount each polling station. EC has been biased. I don't think so. He says, no, EC has not been biased. Daud Al-Hassan quickly responds and says, Abdul Razak, if you arrive at the polling station and your name is not there, how are you going to do? Okay, those questions were put to Bosman Asare. He'll be answering them. All right, this one is from Barberini Richard. He says, NDC is on a wild goose chase. Caleb Jones Cortez says, ask him to clarify a statement the NDC says about him. To paraphrase, that he said the NDC is the problem of our democracy. It's possible at number 1, he says. More messages coming from our viewers who looked at the flyer on social media. Kofi Adomako says, Senior Paul, good evening. I have been watching your program for the past 6 years. Thank you very much, Kofi Adomako. In fact, I have learned a lot from you. Keep up the good work. Superb journalism, no insults, no attack, only facts. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kofi Adomako. Yakubu Abdul Jalil Nendo says that NDC wants to have something to hold on to after the election when they are defeated. Well, Frank Adakwa says, same tactics, it won't work this time. Olantunji Amuda says that is the EC anticipating a possible change of voting date if the NDC decides to go to court as being suggested by the Electoral Commission. Francis Owusu says Afarijan showed the way to win elections and said elections are won at the polling station with a biometric register and fingerprints and eye verification. NDC is giving the dog a bad name to hang it. That's Francis Owusu. Bennett Danso says, so there are 2 bombshells tonight. Paul's interview, The Thorn, Bosman Asare in Yanum's Flesh, and Bolare's interview with Dubik Mahama, resigned ECG boss. Ghana will be hot going into the weekend. Loads of things to talk about and interest. Oh, I didn't know that Bolare is interviewing Dubik Mahama. I'll be watching that interview if I get the opportunity. Okay, so these are what people are saying about our flyer. Okay, let's just take a few text messages, the welcoming one, as we get ready to show you the Bosman Asare interview. We'll do one more story on Galamsey. On Galamsey, we're looking at what happened with the protesters, what is happening with the police, why is the police keeping them, what is the latest going on around the system. Who should I start with? Today we have a new a lady on the social media. So Antoinette has become a coach, so she's sitting down and giving them the instructions in her coaching position. Who should I start with? Fatih is back on there. Oh, that's a new lady. Hello, how are you? Welcome to Good Evening Ghana. All right, maybe you can turn the television so they can see as you were doing moving, so they can see. Yeah. All right, so you said I should start with Fatih, isn't it? All right, Fatih, what are people saying at the beginning?
All right, thank you, Paul. So this is coming from Ibn Al-Hassan, and he says, good evening, Paul. The NDC and their flag bearer have realized that the masses are out for Dr. Bawumia to break the 8, so the only alternative for them is to cause fear and panic into the vulnerable. When Dr. Bawumia is seriously campaigning for votes, GM is busy insulting clerics and opinion leaders. Now, Samuel Nugent says, what will happen on December 7th won't be an election but an endorsement of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Regards to the beautiful ladies in the studio. So Lawyer Trouble says, good evening, Paul. Please convey this message to the NDC. Freedom is not a license for lawlessness. It is a social contract in which citizens enjoy rights and freedoms while fulfilling their responsibilities to the state and society. We should not support miscreants or individuals who seek to disrupt the peace and happiness of our country. Where Kofi's right to demonstrate ends, Ama's right to live peacefully begins. And lastly, coming from Osman Abubakar, says, vote number 1 for Dr. Bawumia as president and Manaf Ibrahim as MP. What do you have for us, Tara?
I have Duma Alassane saying, because of the hard work of Dr. Bawumia, people have really forgot of the fact that he is just a vice president. And as a result, they're always getting wrong in their benchmark between him and his opponent. Big ups to Dr. Bawumia. Fantastic production, great delivery, and excellent execution from Chapman Anderson Jr. And from Anam Zuya, good evening, Mr. Paul. You are the best journalist. Dr. Bawumia will be president, inshallah. Number 1 is the sign of victory. What do you have for us?
All right. From Don Kwesi, he says, it is very possible. We have Abdul Gino saying, good evening, my regards to our incoming president of Ghana, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, and his vice president, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. We are so proud of them. They are making things better for us in the NPP. We have from Tanimu, he says, my concern is that during the balloting, why were they not allowed to open the paper they get right on the camera? Watch how it is done in the UEFA Champions League. Jamoro says, Kwame Nkrumah's daughter, Samia Yaba Nkrumah, is winning Jamoro to represent her father in parliament. Lastly, from Ahmad, he says,
It's good he has joined the campaign team. It is possible, inshallah.
So we've got from Kabiesi watching us from Second D. He says, "Hi Paul, I must say that Dr. Bawumia has introduced something magical in our political landscape. Gone were the days where the NDC could outsmart Ghanaians with old-fashioned policies and propaganda striking slogans to outsmart unsuspecting Ghanaians." So this is a bit unfair to say. Anyway, Paul, you've got a correction coming in from Naziru Mahama. He says, "Good evening, Mr. Paul. Please, point of correction. The VIP's name is Mahamudu, not Mahamadu, as you've been pronouncing it." He says they are two different names altogether. Apart from that, GG is number one in the country. Now, from Ahmed watching us in Tambale, he says the CNN guy is Larry Madowo. He has a penchant for horrible reporting. This is Ahmed saying this. He has a penchant for horrible reporting and was humiliated by an East African foreign minister. You can see he's using his phone and doing a selfie like he's hiding to report. Very unethical on his part. This is Ahmed watching us from Tabale. Moving on, we've got from General L. Coleman saying, "When your campaign message is weak, you resolve and attack the EC. The NDC should know that the EC's processes, such as voter registration, exhibition of the provisional voters register, balloting for positions, and printing and distribution of ballot papers, are designed to ensure fairness and transparency. If there be any discrepancy, there are due processes to follow in the correction." Lastly, Upon King Brown says the EC has implemented various measures to ensure voter register integrity, including verification processes and data validation. A forensic audit is unwarranted. The NDC's repeated calls for audits suggest political desperation, not genuine concern. This is from Upon King Brown. Paul, let's go on with the show.
Okay, so welcome back to the show, and let's get straight onto the. I was busy with the editor trying to fix the Galamsey story and then the Bosman Asare story. Now let's go onto the touchscreen and look at the Galamsey story. So, what is the story? So, please don't forget about Nana Kwame Bediako's video. Nana Kwame Bediako has done a video in which he's alleging that these demonstrations are political party sponsored, and that over the last 1 year they've been sponsored by political parties. So the Galamsey situation is ongoing. Political parties are talking about it, and everybody's talking about it. And then Fix the Country people decide to go on a demonstration. They announce a 3-day demonstration, don't they? And so they go on day 1, and it looked like it was excellent. Let's see how the newspapers reported the day 1 of the Galamsey. But they have a photograph of President Mahama, and they'll change it. We've already treated this story, haven't we? So on day 1 of the protest of the Galamseyers, everybody seems to be happy with what happened. And there you go. So this is the Chronicle saying that tactical police avert turmoil in Accra. Suleiman Brahma, Franklin Kujo, Lord Peace Officers, professionalism. So this is the first day of the demonstration, and that should put matters in proper context. On the first day of the demonstration, there was no problem at all. But sometimes the motives of these people has also to be reviewed. Okay, so this is the first day of the demonstration. That's his Chronicles report. Then you have the Daily Dispatch says demonstration hub, police handling and tolerant, commendable. Former NDC guru. So NDC, somebody is saying that the way the police handled the matter was very, very commendable in terms of handling the demonstrators. These are the 2 reports. And then there was now a second day of demonstration. So what some of the demonstrators did was quite troubling. And I'm going to show you some videos and you understand what happened. And we are not happy about people's human rights being abused. No, not at all. This is a president of Ghana who's no one has fought for human rights more than Nana Akufo-Addo. And you can tell me, show me another name, give me another name of somebody in Ghana who has fought for human rights more than Nana Akufo-Addo. He dedicated his law firm to free human rights. And all the human rights cases in the Supreme Court have been held by him. MPP and IGP and GBC, MPP and GBC, MPP and NDC. All of the Supreme Court decisions that speak to human rights have been handled by him. So the fact that he's president and there's problem with people who have demonstrated, and who hasn't participated in a demonstration? Many people have participated in a demonstration. Nothing has happened. In fact, just last 2 weeks, there was a demonstration. And on Friday, the demonstration, there was no problem. So when the international media creates the impression that there's a problem about the way in which Ghana handles demonstration, it irks me, and it's very, very troubling. I'll get to that in a minute. See this first video about how the concern that the police began to have about the demonstration. How we say, we have seen this because we have engaged with the police and asked them that, why are you abusing the rights of people? Why are you arresting a pregnant woman? The police said, there's absolutely no truth in that. Why are you not giving the demonstrators food to eat when you put them in custody? The police said there's absolutely no truth in that. Why is it that when demonstrators say that they are unwell, they want to go to hospital, why do you refuse it? The police say there's absolutely no truth in that. So media, as all of us, must also begin to verify the things that these people say, because these are not innocent demonstrators. Some of them have tremendous political ambition, and some of them are being asked by politicians to do what they are doing. We must be able to see through that. It's election time. Some politicians never want to focus on the issues of the election. Vote for me to do this for you. They never want to focus on that. When you are looking for them to announce a policy decision, they are running away. As soon as there's a demonstration, they issue a statement. When you are looking for them to tell Ghanaians, what are you going to do for the Ghanaian people if you are elected? You can't find them. They are running mates. You can't find any of them. As soon as there's something, then they come and issue a statement about the something. And they don't even tell us what their policy on Galamsey is. What are the policy directions of Galamsey for the political parties? So what worries me as a journalist is that I don't like political parties who are not alive to their responsibility of telling the Ghanaian people how their country will work in the future. And then they just want to take advantage of something, even go to the extent of creating those things. That's the problem I have. See this video now.
Across these 37 streets.
So, my brothers and sisters, this is what actually happened in the streets of 37, around the 37 military hospital. The demonstrators illegally blocked the road, which is the only access to the hospital, which denied many people from seeking medical attention at the hospital. They actually stopped people from accessing the only road to the hospital, and they denied people from going to seek their medical attention. When they were asked, they said those people were animals, they should leave them to die. Why? Because they didn't join them to do the demonstration. Is that how we do demonstrations in this country? We have seen numerous of demonstrations in this country. Is that how they go about it?
We are also going to create uncomfortable stuff for you guys. What I say, everybody must suffer. If you don't want to join us to protest against Galamsey,
there are rules and regulations in this country. We don't use crime to stop crime. How can you block the road, which is the only access to the military hospital? How can you deny people's access to medical attention?
Next time, you join them.
Somebody is sick. The person is going to seek for medical attention. He said you will not allow the person to go and access the hospital, so he should die. Is that how we do demonstrations in this country? You can't infringe on somebody's rights just because you are demonstrating.
You saw that. And sometimes you feel that they just want to get police attention because they know that once they get police attention, their political principals will come in and say, oh, release the prisoners, release the prisoners. Why do we do that in this country? We've been holding demonstrations forever. The 1992 Constitution guarantees the right of assembly and demonstrations. The High Court decision in MPP versus IGP has set out how demonstrations are organized. Look at what they are doing. Look at some of these. Look at some of these things. I mean, nobody's human rights should be abused. But viewers, look at this. And they deliberately do this because they want police to arrest them. And then some politician will come and say, because it's 2 months to election, if it's next year, February, and you do this, nobody's going to mind you. And they know that. And they have been asked by politicians to do some of these things. That's the problem. This is fundamentally the problem that we're engaging with. So look at what they are doing. Yeah, this is Oliver, whatever his name is. And he went to remove the police car key so that he will be arrested. This is a guy who has nothing to do. He's sitting down. Nobody minds him. He tries to do advocacy. Nobody minds him. He's frustrated about the attendance to the demonstration. Now he's asking the people that step out of your car and demonstrate with us by force. Come and demonstrate with us. So that next time, you heard him in the audio. So that next time when we say we are demonstrating, you will come. And then they start burning MPP paraphernalia. What sense is there in this? And then because some people are NDC, they are happy with this. And they don't know that we are building a republic. We are building a country. What is the sense in burning MPP flag? What's the point about it? You know that if you do that, the police will come after you. They are very much aware. They look very irresponsible in the thing they are doing. They are not the first to demonstrate. And their demonstration has not even got the numbers that other demonstrations got, which was peaceful. The other day, George Opariado, the NDC youth organizer, organized a very big demonstration. It was peaceful. Vomao does demonstration. He has 12 people, 30 people, 15 people. That is neither here nor there. He has to conduct himself well, but he does these things deliberately so that he will be arrested. Just so that he will be arrested. And then when he's arrested, then he knows that some politician, because election, look at this, look at this. Police asking you people that you cannot block the access to 37. Then they say that Ghanaians are animals, so they should die. Because if they're not animals, they will not sit down and look at Galamsey happen that way. You heard them in the video. How do you do something like this and expect that you will not be arrested? What is the meaning of this? What is this? I have been on demonstrations for the University of Ghana many hundred times. We don't do these things. NDC has organized demonstrations. They don't do these things. But when they put some of these people up to do these things, so that they will be arrested, so that they can create a problem as if there's a human rights something in the country. And then you have journalists who don't know what they are about, even at CNN, to come and be talking the things they talk. I'm going to show you what the guy name again. What's his name? Something Madoho. Larry Madoho does a news report and says that peaceful protest. Does he understand what peaceful protest is? CNN should go and edit the thing again. What is the meaning of peace? Is that a protest that is peaceful? A protest that is preventing people from going to a hospital, accessing the only route to a hospital. You block the process and tell them that they should get down from the car and join your demonstration. What kind of sense is there in this? What is the sense in this one? Police should not abuse people's human rights. No, I agree with that. Police should not abuse anybody's human rights. The Constitution makes provision for all of these things. 48 hours, you have to be charged. You are charged, you go to a court. The court will determine what to do. Police must give the lawyers access to them. Police must allow their families to see them. The police have consistently denied that nobody was denied access to family. Look at the kinds of things they are doing. We have learned in the basic lessons in human rights that your freedom ends where another person's own begins. And so if you have a human rights issue, you cannot go and stand at 37 and block the road and go to the police and remove the car key, tell a photographer to follow you. But are some of the police complicit? That's the question I'm asking. Are some of the police complicit with these things? How did the guy have a photographer following him to go and remove the key, and then he shows that he's removed the key, and that means that he's some great guy? Is that the kind of country we are building? And then when he's arrested, they say that you have arrested him, you have released him. It is too punitive. And the political parties who are supporting them are not commenting on the way in which they behaved. What is the meaning of this? Because there's election. The election will come and go, and then everybody will see that Ghanaians cannot be fooled anymore. You have to tell them what you do for them. That's how they'll vote for you. Ghanaians are not going to vote for you because you are orchestrating. Those days are gone, because now there's so much education in the system. Free SHS has been running for so many years now, and there's a lot of people in Ghana who are educated. They understand these propaganda tricks and evil methods that you just want to create problems so you win election. When the election results are published, we will know that Ghanaians no longer do that. So political parties will shape themselves up in the future to know that, look, you want to win election in Ghana, you have to tell the people what you do for them. You don't just sit down and you don't have anything to say. You have no history, no record, no future to predict for them. And then you just come and say that, oh, the government is fighting demonstrations, so vote for me. They are not going to vote for you because of that. No Ghanaian is going to vote because of that. Ghanaians are going to vote on policy. What will you do for me? What have you done? When you were there, what did you do? What have you been able to achieve? Tell me that is how Ghanaians are voting in this election. You see it on December 8th. When the results are coming on the screen, you will see it. And don't tell yourself the results are surprising. The results will only surprise you if you underestimate the way Ghanaians are going to vote. If you think Ghanaians will be taken in by propaganda, the results will surprise you. But if you believe that Ghanaians have come of age and they are voting according to policy, the results will not surprise you. That's what has been happening here. Now, listen to this. First, let me get the CNN guy's document. So this is CNN reporter called Larry Madoho, who wrote this incredible thing on his social media page. He says, I will be watching Ghana's president speak in New York this morning as police in Accra continue to detain peaceful protesters against illegal mining. Does he understand that qualifying the protest with peaceful means that you have checked with both sides? What kind of journalism does he practice? Is he really serious? Everything that white man does is good, everything that black man does is wrong. Please tell him that he should wake up, because we can read and write. We understand what he's doing. And we have better journalists in this country. We have seen so many journalists. He should wake up. What do you mean by peaceful protesters? If I'm his editor, I will ask him that, how did you come to the conclusion that it's peaceful? When we're being trained as journalists, they always tell us, don't use those words. Say that according to this, it was peaceful. It is you who haven't made that determination. Who is his editor? Who is editor? They didn't edit it. They didn't teach him how to write, how to report. You go to a live thing you are reporting, and then you make a value judgment that the protest was peaceful. Who told him that? Is he also being bought by the propaganda? I'm so disappointed. Where is Jeff Koinange? Where is he? These are the CNN reporters that we knew. What is he talking about? Is he serious? Come and walk around the country and say that you are going to leave. Tell him that we are not afraid of CNN. We know journalism. You can't write as a journalist like this and say that the demonstration was peaceful. You make a value judgment. Where is the basis? Did you speak to both sides? What happened to all the alternate pattern? He doesn't know it, or he thinks it's only for lawyers. He doesn't know it's for journalists too. If you know him, send him his Twitter. Tell him that I am after him this evening on his poor standards of journalism in reporting the Ghanaian situation. Very, very poor standards of journalism from CNN in reporting the Ghanaian situation. Completely poor standards. How can you write peaceful protester? Haven't we seen American demonstrations where police are fighting people? Haven't we seen it? Or he doesn't know that we live in a digital age, that everything happens in New York, we see it in Ghana. Sometimes these kind of people, you don't understand. You see, they are neo-colonialism mentality. That's who they are. Neo-colonialism mentality is what is hurting him. Neo-colonialism. His eyes have not opened. He doesn't understand the modern world. What are you talking about? Peaceful protest? Were you standing there? Anyway, the Minister for Information, Fatima Abubakar, quickly responded and says, please do well to check and report on both sides of a story when making publications that impact on the country's image. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you. Ghana has always supported citizens' right to demonstrate peacefully. However, acts of vandalism, attacks on police, and disruptions to public order will always be contained by the police in any jurisdiction. Ghana's courts are also mature enough to examine evidence against accused persons and make appropriate decisions. Thank you, Madam Fatima. Show the report, show the guy, show what he said. Who do you think you are? He should be apologizing to the people of Ghana. Play it.
Well, back at home, there's outrage over the continued detention of peaceful protesters against illegal mining. Some of them have been denied bail, have been denied access to medical care, and people are raising their voices about the human rights violations by the Ghana Police Service and also by what they see as the court's attempt to deny them their constitutionally guaranteed rights.
George Floyd, is it Ghanaian police that brutalized him? This kind of neo-colonialist mentality, they should get off our back. When George Floyd was dying, is it Ghanaian police who were killing him? Look at the thing he's spewing out. Look at what he's spewing out. Total hogwash. Look at his spewing out. Civil protesters. He is a very poor journalist. He's repeating the protesters' language without checking. This is CNN? Wow, this is CNN. And he's just repeating that they have been denied medical care, something that the Ghanaian police have issued statements upon statements to say that is untrue. The Ghanaian police have a whole hospital. How will they deny medical? The whole police have a hospital called Police Hospital. He doesn't know that. How can he's such a lazy journalist? Hey, Mado, tell him he's a lazy journalist. Very lazy. CNN, he doesn't meet the CNN standards. He's a lazy journalist. You are working for CNN, lazy journalist. Look at him, lazy journalist. You are a lazy journalist. Go and check your facts like the information Mr. told you. You are a lazy journalist. Lazy boy. You won't do the work. You are repeating what the processors are saying. What they have put on social media. He just takes this point, he reads it. That they have been denying medical care. Show one person who has been denying medical care. Show one. He can't show it. The protesters themselves were not able to show it. One person denied, and then they have some narrative. Pregnant woman, pregnant woman. The police say, where is the pregnant woman? There's no pregnant woman in the situation. Zero. And because it is politics and ballot box is coming, you, a whole CNN journalist, you are railroaded into the ballot box conversation, and now you're exposing your laziness as a journalist. Lazy journalist. This small report, you can't do it. You work for CNN. People at Metro TV, at Joy FM, they can report this balance. You work for CNN. This small report, you can't do it. Lazy journalist. Very, very lazy. I can tell him. Some of these things. Anyway, on a more serious note, it's 10 past 10. We believe that the police should be able to maintain peace and order without violating people's rights. Not at all. You can't arrest somebody and keep them in custody for more than 48 hours. You can't do that. The law is clear about that. Now, those who have been denied bail by a court. That means you can go back to court with an application and get the judge to change his decision. But we have a statement from President Mahama. Let's read it. What does President Mahama say? He calls it high-handedness. I don't know whether it's been removed. Okay. He calls it high-handedness. We must balance our need to maintain law and order with protecting the rights and freedoms of our citizens. Remanding Democracy Hub demonstrators for 2 weeks is high-handed and an abuse of their rights. The youth of Ghana have a right to engage in manifestations to protect their future, especially in respect of key issues like the destruction of the environment through illegal mining. So, is that all? Is that all he said? Are you going to give me the rest, please? President John Dramani Mahama, who presided over the activities of Aisha 1, who has now been incarcerated. This is President Mahama, who presided over the activities of Aisha 1. He presided over it. You see, these are the deceptions in politics that we are fighting every day. You presided over Aisha 1. Then you come and tell us that the youth have a right to protect the future in respect of issues like the destruction of the environment through illegal mining. And we are listening to it. It's okay, we can listen to it. But this is the record. This is the background of the president speaking. This is his record. He has a clear record about something that you can almost call an accomplice. You presided over Aisha when you didn't prosecute her. She was never arrested. Nothing happened to her. She has now been arrested and prosecuted by your predecessors, and you are complaining about how environment has been degraded. It's politics, isn't it? It's politics. Otherwise, President Mahama should not be able to say anything about Galamsey, because Aisha 1 is in prison, and you presided over Aisha 1. She's there in prison today. She was found guilty by a court. Somehow, I can agree with President Mahama, though, that 2 weeks of, what do they call it, refusing bail, keeping them in custody for 2, is quite long. I will not go as far as saying it's high-handed, but it's quite long. Maybe we can appeal to the judge, whoever the judge was, to sort of make it a week or a few days. And I'm sure these things are done for purpose of investigation so that the prosecution can put themselves together properly. So an application for bail is made, an application for bail is denied by the court, and the court decides how long the bail should be denied. It's not the prosecution or the police that make that decision. It's the court that makes that decision, so that people can go to court right now with another application. And we think that 2 weeks is quite long. It's really, really long. So perhaps they should reduce it, and let's get to the crux of the matter. But those who think that demonstration means that you should create mayhem so that you are arrested, they have to be dealt with. Those who think demonstration just means create mayhem so that you are arrested. What's this? Reuters, 5 climate activists from the Just Stop Oil protest group were jailed for at least 4 years on Thursday over a conspiracy to block London's M25 motorway, marking the longest sentence ever imposed for a non-violent protest in Britain. Has Madoho seen this? The lazy CNN journalist, lazy, very, very lazy CNN. Has he seen this? This is London. July 18th, Reuters is reporting 5 climate activists from the Just Stop Oil protest group. Okay, let me start again. 5 climate activists from the Just Stop Oil protest group were each jailed for at least 4 years on Thursday over a conspiracy to block London's M25 motorway, marking the longest sentence ever imposed for a non-violent protest in Britain on 18 July 2024. Non-violent protest in Britain. This is Westminster, the citadel of democracy, because they don't take protesters who are misbehaving. They don't take protesters who are misbehaving. So this is what they did. Has Madoho seen this to come and go and tell the world that Ghana, there's... In America, didn't they kill George Floyd? That the whole world now, when they are playing football everywhere, they have to gesture in a certain way. This kind of lazy journalism has now reached CNN. CNN, the cable news network. Lazy journalists like this are working for CNN and publishing lazy stories like that. Lazy journalist, lazy. He can't do the work. He doesn't want to do the embarrassing Africa. He's embarrassing Africa. Jeff Konanga did a fantastic work at CNN. I interviewed Jeff twice, one in New York, one at City FM, about his work. I've seen them. What kind of lazy journalism is this? Lazy boy. Just lazy. He won't do the work. He's checking his phone and then he sees somebody has tweeted, oh, I haven't eaten. They don't want to give me food. Somebody has tweeted, oh, I wasn't giving health care. And then he goes to make it a CNN story that peaceful protesters were not giving food. Please, play the guy's thing again. Play it again. Play Mado. Play it. Lazy boy.
Ghana's president is speaking here in New York this morning at the UN General Assembly. While back at home, there's outrage over the continued detention of peaceful protesters against illegal mining. Some of them have been denied bail, have been denied access to medical care, and people are raising their voices about the human rights violations by the Ghana Police Service and also by what they see as the court's attempt to deny them their constitutionally guaranteed rights. Ghana's president is speaking here in New York this morning at the UN General Assembly. While back at home, there's outrage over the continued detention of peaceful protesters against illegal mining. Some of them have been denied bail, have been denied access to medical care, and people are raising their voices about the human rights violations by the Ghana Police Service and also by what they see as the court's attempt to deny them their constitutionally guaranteed rights. Ghana's president is speaking here in New York this morning at the UN General Assembly. While back at home, there's outrage.
Lazy work he's doing. Total lazy journalist. Lazy. CNN standard. You take information from Twitter, from somebody saying that I was arrested. You don't call the Ghana police. You are CNN. If you call the Ghana police public relations director, I'm CNN. My name is Larry Madoho. I want to know, the protesters are saying, is it true that you have denied? Even Joy FM asked the police. And the police denied audio time pattern. It's a rule. Ask the other side. He doesn't know it. It's embarrassing, Africa. He doesn't know it as a journalist, audio time pattern. Ask the other side. Basic, the most basic thing you are taught in journalism, the most fundamental thing is lost on him. Lazy journalist like that. Lazy boy. Very, very lazy journalist. Lazy. CNN can do better than that. Wow. Listen to Nana Kwame Bediako on this matter. Here's Cheddar.
The situation right now about my last video that I issued about not supporting violence, and I still stand on that, and I mean that. Now, why don't I support the youth for protesting? It's because I want peace in the country. If the youth of this country and the people of this nation have held it down for 32 years to 40 years of understanding politics and whatever encumbrances, crisis, issues that it brings, and they've managed to survive, then why would they want to use violence now to send a message and say that they've had enough? Well, let me tell you people something that you might not know. All of these protests and demonstrations that has happened in this country in the past year or two were organized by one of the duopoly. It's the same politicians, and I said it. I'm not going to mention names, but you know that Jolobi and Fix the Country was fixed by one of the existing parties. We cannot do this to ourselves and destroy our own country because of a politician's personal interest or a party's interest. Please, Ghana, do your research. The people in front of all these demonstrations, some of them have treason charges. Ask, find out who sponsored them for the mobilizations and all the things that happen. Do your research. This is not about Galamsey. This is about a political interest.
This is not about Galamsey. This is about a political interest. That is why you have a president who presided over the worst form of it and presided over the Galamsey campaign come to say that, oh, Galamsey is not good. Arrest. That's Kwame Bediako is speaking the truth. On this one, he's speaking the truth. It's not about Galamsey. It's about political interest. Because there's election. There's election, so there's a political interest. Put Kwame Bediako back there. He's giving us some more insights. He says that, go and check who is mobilizing them to do a demonstration. And look at the people doing the demonstration. People who are doing their professional work, who can't find a headway in their professional work. They can't find any headway. And they just want to be some martyrs of, they have some megalomania. If you have megalomania, play football, you'll be a Black Stars captain. Do your legal work. We'll call you distinguished barrister. There are many distinguished barristers. We'll call you that, and you have something. But if you can't do your work and you want to use political interest because it's 2 months to election to show that you are somebody, Cheddar will come after you. Cheddar will come after you. He says there's a reason why he's not supporting those things. Because they are motivated politically. It's nothing to do with Galamsey. It's not about Galamsey. It's about a political interest. And who is funding the political interest? Why don't they come and tell us their policy for the future of Ghana? Why are they not concerned about that one? And then they are concerned about doing something surreptitiously so that Ghanaians will feel that they don't like the ruling party. And then they will vote for them. What? We have passed that stage a long time ago. Who is that taking us back? Who is the one taking us back? Who is that? Who is that politician taking our country back? Come and tell us what you can do for Ghana. Don't find some people who have nothing to do and then tell them to go and demonstrate so that there will be problem and then you can issue a statement. That is immoral, it's illegal. We will stand against it every day, all day long. It's immoral and it's illegal and we'll stand against it all day long. Thank you, Nana Kwame Bediako. Where are you on the ballot, by the way? Where is Bediako on the ballot? Oh, he's 13 is Alan. It's last but one, so 12. Yeah. Nana Kwame Bediako. Eti say, Bibia Eboko, Cheddar the cheddar. How are you doing? I like your kente. I know that's how you say. Me, I say kente, but I think you say it kente. Yeah, kente. I like your kente. All righty. Always a touch of humor. 22 minutes past the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. It's time now for us to go for our big interview with Bosman Asare. After that, we'll take the break. Bosman Asare was at the studio. We interviewed him for 40 minutes. We hope that you enjoy it. This is how we started. All the way to the tape with Bosman Asare. We have 5 minutes more for the video to be ready. Let's take some text messages. I think Fatih should start, isn't it? Anziba should start now.
Okay, from Pato, he says, the General Paul, I salute you. Aminu says, please Paul, calm down. Gifty Love says, you guys should sit there and be lying to yourselves whilst the youth are planning for a bigger protest. Lastly, from Nelson Kwekudan, so he says, some of these youngsters just want followers. I say demonstrate, but do not misbehave. Over to you.
Hamid Abdul Samed says, Paul stands out as an exemplary journalist, renowned for his diligence and commitment to reporting verifiable matters of national significance. With just a handful of journalists of his caliber in the Ghanaian media landscape, the country would greatly benefit from balanced and impactful storytelling. I commend you, Paul, for your exceptional work and dedication to responsible journalism.
Thank you. So this is coming from Moses Akrugo, and he says that Larry guy has been very biased in his reportage. He is unprofessional and helps CNN to paint a very bad picture of Africa. Baba Chairman from Tamale says, where was Amnesty International when Baka and hoodlums were causing mayhem and destruction in the name of a demo? Voma War and his colleagues must be dealt with according to the laws of the land. Ghana is not a banana republic. Now, Yada Naya says, when Nana tried stopping Galamsey in 2017, NDC people were using that as propaganda against him, and Mahama promised to allow Galamsey to go on when he wins, and that led a lot of people to vote against Nana. Why are you now making noise about Galamsey? Ask Mahama his take on Galamsey and what he's going to do about Galamsey if he wins. And lastly, coming from Alhaji Bob City, says, Paul, every discerning Ghanaian knows that the demonstrations are politically motivated and nothing else. The government will not handle the Galamsey like it did in 2020. These same noisemakers are the same people sponsoring the Galamseyers. We are struggling to stop the destruction of water bodies, and the NDC are there encouraging them to vote for them so they will do the Galamsey freely. Also, I have Ebenezer Akwete here who says, Paul, in July this year, 4 climate protesters were jailed for 4 years in UK for trying to block M2 5 highway. Will America or UK tolerate this nonsense? They are all NDC activists. Parker says, before every protest, I think the police administration should hold a press conference, briefing and reading out the agreement, the do's and don'ts to the whole country, so that when they are arrested for going contrary to the agreement, everyone will appreciate it. Now, Osman Abdu says, good evening, Paul. The NDC is doing everything possible to tarnish the image of this government by peddling falsehood and all sorts of allegations. But one thing we can assure them is no amount of false allegations can stop our victory, inshallah. It is possible. Dash Tinkon says there are human rights, but that right does not allow you to abuse it because that same right can deal with you squarely. And lastly, coming from Oman Penny, he says, it's sad the hypocrisy of Ghanaians. We want the laws to work when it applies to something else. The demonstrators should be dealt with. What do you have for us, Andrew?
From Sespin, we have, for once, I admire Cheddar for a submission. We also have from Nana Kwesi Tre. He says, it's high time Ghanaians understood that much as you have the right to demonstrate, others also have the right to go about their normal businesses, so it is irresponsible for a demonstrator to harass citizens going about their business. What the Democracy Hub protesters did was wrong and must be condemned by all well-meaning Ghanaians. Bob says, so even if they have a case, is it right to spoil the state's properties, block roads and burn flags? We also have James Apo saying, the primary reason for the protest centers around illegal mining, which has caused significant pollution of our water bodies and led to numerous health issues. However, it raises concerns as to why the protesters are blocking a major road that leads to important facilities such as the 37 military hospital. It continues, if the protest is about the health impact of illegal mining, blocking access to hospitals where those affected would seek treatment seems counterproductive. This raises the possibility that the protests may have political motivations. Well, perhaps we should continue to treat this with significant nuance. Continuing, we have from Akonsi Gariba watching us from Tamale, and he says, good evening, Paul. Why do we have so many fake people in Ghana? They pretend to be fighting Galamsey, yet they do politics with it. They pretend to be giving fair reportage, yet they are too biased in their reporting. They pretend to be demonstrating, yet they are doing politics for the NDC. They pretend to be neutral, yet they're deep in campaigning for the party. They pretend to be communicating, yet what they bring out is full of insults. He says, number one, Dr. Bawumia, and so on. He says, may Allah bless you all. Paul, can we get on the show?
Okay, so we're almost ready with the Bosman Asare interview. We'll just take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll show you the interview. The break is 5 minutes long. Don't go anywhere. Stay with Good Evening Ghana. I'm receiving so many messages on the CNN journalist boy. I said he's lazy. People are adding some invectives that I cannot even read on television. But he did a very, very poor job, a particularly poor job for a top television, global television network like CNN. This was a remarkably poor job. After the break, Good Evening Ghana is live.
Ghana's model of insurance is one of the best in, obviously, not only Africa, but the world. So a lot of people come to study how we're doing. In fact, just yesterday, the South African ambassador called me that South Africa will want to come here and study what we're doing in Ghana so that they can take it back home, because their president announced that they want to go the Ghana way. The government is doing what we call the e-pharmacy. So NHI, in partnership with the Vice President's Office and also the Pharmacy Council, have started this initiative, and it's been obviously rolled out. We are doing the pilot now, so we just come from the north. Now, what the e-pharmacy will do is to enroll all pharmacies accredited by the NHI on the pharmacy platform, the e-pharmacy platform. Now, once that is on, once you are on the platform, you are able to know the prices of medicine. and where they are located. We are in consultation with the Ministry of Agric to veer into what we call planting for fruits and jobs.
Really?
Fruit and veg. Yes. That's what the greens are what will let you live healthy.
But you see what Galamsey is doing to us, don't you? Are you not worried as NHIA?
You come there. Let me finish my points and I'll come there. You see, so if you veer into planting for fruits and veg, okay, more people will get vegetables to eat. Now we are also encouraging them, the Ministry of Agric, and the Ghana Health Service and the NHIS to introduce what we call the Meatless Monday, because now the meatless Monday. So it means that one of the days on Mondays, nobody in Ghana should take meats. It should be vegetables.
I'm very excited about these things you're mentioning.
Choose the perfect prize every week and stand to win your choice of exciting prizes. All to get more of what matters to you. Exclusive to Betway. Betway, get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
Hey, Walango! Hey, Walango! I asked him to buy me original politics.
Hey, please don't make mistake. Stop, Papa. Open the back amount. And you politics no gala. Hey, Papa.
Papa, can ruffle.
The politics is original, the first and the best.
What is? Ukota also for dear acrobat using it.
Politics, yes.
Ago Ganaman, within some defricua, a Jumekuan chain and mammo. Yet the qua mixture by Muji to Mukama, after the Fofraba, qua plus mixture and a qua empty mixture. Qua mixture eboa, amonipidria huadeno, na qua plus mixture, into a bow immune system for qua mixture and the qua plus mixture for boa pumude. Afenso, yet the malaria drop at a tree abbejaso. They did the qua empty mixture. Qua mixture, qua plus mixture, and the qua empty mixture, and ye mapping for a Mahama colano for, and in Kola, Umundi in fear duminu. She say, why a test? I chese or malaria more want to be a wumujimu, and son a wafa qua empty mixture, upedudu tour. Frequa, a Jumekuno, a war 0244 726611 and 059 165 5778. FDA, Aji, a bidding cratui at.
Now let me tell you why you should choose Safari Valley as your conference destination.
The new conference building combines modern amenities with the tranquility of nature, providing the perfect backdrop for your next seminar and corporate retreat.
The only conference destination with so many activities. You don't have to travel to visit your tennis club, the gym, or the stables. They have it all.
Enjoy this rooftop viewing deck, basking in the sunlight with the sight of wild animals roaming freely in their natural habitat.
At my break, I'm able to practice my putting.
It's a unique experience that sparks creativity and rejuvenates the mind.
Visit Safari Valley Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature.
Auntie Esi, nothing I want to I'm over me one money my busasa.
Auntie Ama, if I show me by any school, a university. Now it's kind of 2005. And yet they are many. To my even to my son, the brown up paper crack. Oh, the family.
To Manukotufi. It's what is said John Dramani Mahama. Any NDC for say, saying I may have done a gun for Twabamana. Waba, Aba University, Technical University, College of Education, Nursing Training, woman in academic fees for first year. You're free, no stress.
Adam, how did it? Another matter than that.
Auntie, hey, share a BM was say, and can able see na obo wo ma omoto asukuu so no se na obo ne ba ko a se wo so obesi ho e dia ma o ma omoto aso no
anya Mr. John Mahama
ye chame so mu kura ne se ye nuanu ma omodi dem asabe bread asa omoko sukuu to no wase wo mu nyina wo ba e free
Sama and come in Konanka na 7 December Nanga ya tuaba na my papa Mahama. I'm na be your president.
Shawa sit na moto abapa. E dey sakra ya papa beba wa brabo mu. Tuaba ma John Mahama ni NDC.
Gone were the days one had to use or his or her savings or break the bank to own a home in Ghana. Tesprom Estates Limited, a leading property development company, is turning people's dreams into reality. The company has introduced a pioneering concept, Build Now Pay Later, offering a unique payment plan that spans 15 years. This innovative approach has made it possible for many Ghanaians to own their dream homes without breaking the bank. At Tezprom Estates Limited, we are dedicated to delivering exceptional quality and customer satisfaction in all aspects of our business. Our commitment is reflected in how we build to suit your preference, which prioritize excellence, integrity, and customer centricity. Our pricing is cost-effective. You can visit our office at the Old Melcom, Achimota, Accra to register at a fee of 300 Ghana cedis or call us for more information. Contact us now.
Krachi, unemu bua unkoisha Dr. Ma uye denwa.
Oh, mesi ya mfano kwa mami buru wa.
Ayi, mami ko buru. Ko ni atele be ko bra. Mumi mfano ko Dr. Ma ho. Dr. Ma no ya de. Bra, se banu no mpemu adwuma, sasabro sro Dr. Ma oye.
So ni kemi kwa na meka. Oh no mpemu ni mdi onu na ye expert nyaza afo no. O Accra eni Kumasi no mpemu expert yen kan kire.
So what about what your papa piano?
This is my secret. Give us pea capsules. Pema wa one drink from now on to me bread to my din one pem. Give us pea capsules. Over do as a mama. Oh no, enemy lawyer.
And to lawyer no na show bottom. Are you pro? The na upon machine ba bet siamo a ese niji.
Bosano.
No. You nephew, I can't wait. The friend give us cold capsules. Say yes, is yare na wo so. Cold the do ni pedem when na wo posa amamai enti ma wunja wunan yi. Wonum give us cold capsules. Obey free.
Lawyer.
Give us cold capsules.
And I give us pea capsules.
Hey, and they give us free. Obey chinasuma.
And men what if you do what you do cronkwan efa. Give us core capsules. A pain for a batter one more menu for an inquada when if you do me nunca.
Hello, my name is Roland Walker. I'm here at Coastal Park. It's one of the many courts belonging to estate masters, and they are into service plots, property management, and luxury homes. And just in case you want to make that decision to invest into a landed property, estate masters is the right choice to make. If it is from an indenture, a site plan, you want it also barcoded, all is available. You might have heard about Chopoli. It's where we have the next cottage of estate masters. It is not only one of the thriving, but the most inviting landed property site for you also to invest in. We encourage you, do invest in the next cottage at Chopoli. It is just close to the yet to be demarcated airport. That also will be a valuable property for you to invest in.
The answer to my prayer, you're with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Lucky. It's everywhere. 8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get packing so you have to Wallah.
Hey, wait. You can put it on his tab. This is my man. Good luck.
Hey, we'll wait here. We have star 712. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now we try. You need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
there are. Tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
Sorry it took long, and we have 20 minutes at the top of the hour, but we'll do our best to show you all the 43 minutes of the interview. This is Bosman Asare speaking to us earlier today. Welcome to our exclusive interview with Dr. Bosman Asare, formerly head of Department Political Science, but of course now Electoral Commissioner. This is your second election?
Yes, this is our second general election.
Oh, I see. So is 2024 shaping up different in a different way from 2020?
In terms of the preparation from the Electoral Commission, it's not so different, except that in 2020 we had COVID, which was unprecedented in the world. In that year we had the election. Though some countries like the US, they also had their election. But this year, although we don't have COVID, as an institution we are still working, and we believe that we are going to get an outcome like we did in 2020. And when we talk about an outcome, we are interested in a very credible, a very peaceful, a very inclusive electoral process. And that's what we are working towards. And so far, we are fully convinced that all the measures we have to put in place, we've been able to do that. In terms of procurement, we are right on point. In terms of the staff, almost about 200,000 people we are going to use on election day. We have them.
200,000 people on election day?
Almost.
What will they be doing?
On election, we are working with 40,649 polling stations.
So that's where we are now.
Where we are now on election.
40,000.
600, almost 649.
Okay.
Then
so
we are
40,650 polling stations,
yes,
something like that.
So basically,
in 276 constituencies?
No, in 276 constituencies. Yes.
We're going to have 76 now. 76. Because you're going to have SAL.
SAL, yes, okay. Which is called the Guan constituency.
The Guan, yeah.
And each polling station is going to have 5 officials. We have a presiding officer, a ballot issuer for the presidential election, a ballot issuer for the parliamentary election in each polling station. Then we have a name reference officer as well as a verification officer. So for each of the 40,650 or so polling stations, we are going to be employing 5 persons.
Where did you get these people from, the 200,000?
Oh, they are basically in the constituencies. A number of them are working with the government as teachers, health professionals, agric officials. Some of them too are national service persons.
And do you pay them?
Yeah, we pay them. We pay them.
You pay them a
we
fee.
We pay them a
How's
fee.
agreed? Is it a levy agreed or something like that?
It's something we capture in our budget.
Okay.
And we look at inflation.
Do you need a certain qualification for them to be taken as Electoral Commission officials?
In many instances, we require people with some tertiary qualifications. But we also appreciate that in certain parts of our country, if you want to restrict the qualifications to tertiary education, you may not be able to get. So some people with some level of secondary education and even something between tertiary and secondary, some diploma, we do allow in certain places. But to be a presiding officer, we usually require that you should be a university graduate and you should also be working and should have attained some seniority as far as the organization is concerned.
We'll come back to this topic and ask you what actually happens when votes are counted. We'll look at Ali Ramadan, a list of cases from the Supreme Court, what they said must happen at the polling station, etc. So I'll come back to that. But let's get to the matters of today, the balloting that occurred. Will this be the first time the Electoral Commission has 13 candidates for general election, presidential?
Yes, when you look at the record, in 2020 we had 12.
Oh,
so this seems to be
the highest.
And comparing this to previous years, some of the 7, 8, but this time the number, and you know, we had 39 candidates who indicated their interest, who came to us, we gave them the code and they were going to file. At the end of the day, 24 of them showed up. So we had a whole number of people who showed a lot of interest.
So you disqualified some of them?
We disqualified 11 of them. Out of the 39, 15 did not show up. Then out of the 24 that came, 11 of them were disqualified because they didn't meet some of the requirements that were set by the commission.
When the day of balloting comes, walk us through it. What happens? You've already written to them that today is balloting day, so they're coming to Electoral Commission?
Yes.
Then what happens?
We did that, and when they came, we informed the parties and the independent candidates, those representing political parties as the flag bearers and those coming in the name of independent candidates. We did inform them that the balloting will be a two-stage process. The first one will depend on the time you filed your nomination.
Time you filed with the Electoral Commission?
Yes.
So the one who filed first will pick his position first?
No, we'll pick the position of where
he would be. He will be the first to pick.
He will be the first to pick.
The one who filed first. But did you have a date for them to file? Everybody knew the date?
We met them.
So they all knew the date. So in this instance, who filed first?
We met them the Friday before the Monday, the 9th.
Yeah.
So when we met them, then we gave them the time from Monday 9 a.m. to Friday 5 p.m.
To file your nomination.
To file your nomination. And by law, we do it from 9 a.m. to 12 noon.
So who came first?
So on that day, we gave them the form, and MPP indicated first.
That they will come and file?
They will come and file first. Okay. So they came on the Monday at 9 a.m.
Okay, to file.
And I think NDC indicated either 5th or 6th, based on the time they indicated, which was, I think, 2 p.m.
So once they gathered for the balloting, everybody knew that MPP will pick their position first.
That one was made very clear.
So there was no quarrel about that?
There was no quarrel about that.
What was then the quarrel that has gone viral on social media with the Nana Kwame Bediako?
What happened with the Nana Kwame Bediako was of the view that all the candidates, whether independents or those on the ticket of political parties, will be paying the same amount. We'll be paying in terms of filing fee, which is 100,000 Ghana cedis for everyone, except if you are a female candidate, you pay 25% less, which will be 75,000. So he was of the view that he thought we were practicing democracy, and that all the parties, whether independent candidates or those representing political parties, should be put together and go through the process at the same time.
The balloting process.
The balloting process.
And he was not happy with ballot political parties first and independents later.
And we mentioned to him
how much did independents pay? The same 100,000?
The same 100,000. Okay. So there was this heated argument between some of the parties and Mr. Bediako. Some of the parties were contesting that to be a political party, there are processes you go through. You needed to have structures to test of the almost to
so that independent cannot be on the same platform political parties.
But we explained that this is
so when they arrive in the morning in the room, you have your ballots in a basket or something. So you call MPP, come and pick yours.
Come and pick.
So when they pick, what happens? Do they show it to everyone?
When they pick, for that we explained that for the first stage of the process, as soon as you pick, you needed to show to all of us.
Okay.
Because that will show us when you are going to pick. the time or the position you will be picking for the actual position on the ballot.
But the ballot, yes. So that's what I'm talking about. They are going to pick their positions for the ballot.
For the
poll, the notice of poll.
They are picking when they will pick their positions on the ballot.
No, I'm getting confused.
So it's a
two-stage process.
Two-stage process.
So MPP, by filing their nomination first, now have the right to pick whether they will pick their ballot as number one, number two, number three, number four.
Yes, in that order.
I see.
So two-stage process.
So filing your nomination first just makes you pick the position you will be picking first. And you may pick last.
You may pick last.
So you will pick last.
You will pick last.
Oh, I don't think that has come across from the media in such terms.
And that's what we did in 2020.
Okay, so MPP came and they picked what position to pick their ballots?
MPP picked number one.
To pick their ballot.
And what we did was that the two ballots, the two stage, the first stage, all the numbers were in black color. And the second one, all the numbers were in red.
It's the second one that we saw.
It's the second one.
That was
the one that was in contest.
Yes. So MPP picked number one that they will pick first.
They will pick first.
So when they pick number one, other people come and pick.
Other people came based on
what did NDC pick? Do you remember?
I think NDC picked 7 or 6.
Something like that.
Either 6 or 7.
Okay. So after that process is completed, you now bring another ballot.
Another ballot.
For MPP now, having picked the first to pick first. Will now come and pick.
Yes.
Then they pick number one again. And showed it to everyone.
That one they didn't show. That one we mentioned it to them that for the second stage.
You don't show.
Or that one will determine your actual position on the ballot. So when we finish, then we show. And that is the same thing we did in 2020.
Oh, so that one you take, you don't show.
You don't show.
You hold it.
That one we mentioned it there.
So you take hold, you go and sit down. But if Kadonko showed hers, we saw a video where, that's at the end.
I didn't see that one, but if she did, maybe she didn't understand what we said, or because she came late. You know, Kadonko didn't pick in the first.
Why? She was
late. So I remember.
So if somebody is late, what do? You make her the last.
The last, and she picked number 5, although she was the last.
She picked 3 actually.
No, she picked 5 to choose as the
fifth person.
But in the rear positioning,
she picked 3.
And I remember, if you watch the screen during I had to call her on the phone to find out where she was. Well, she wasn't there. Any other rep from her party wasn't around, so I had to call to find out. And she mentioned she was at Circle and she will be joining us very soon.
Circle.
Yeah, I remember I called her. So when everyone picked, it was left with one ballot. So we had to pick it and showed it to the audience that Madam Ekuyadonko, although she wasn't present, she will be number 5. So when they pick, when they go to
now MPP picks their ballot for the position on the poll.
Yes.
They are not supposed to show it.
They are not supposed to show
why?
it. I think it's.
Will it not foster transparency?
I will say it's more about convention. Well, we did the same in 2020.
It has been running like
that. We did that in 2020.
Okay, so when they pick, they sit down.
They sit
then another person picks, sit down.
Yes.
So they can look at it themselves.
Then
look, sit down.
And usually we don't. Once you pick it, we don't keep an eye on it.
Okay, so when if somebody swaps, what happens? How would you know?
I think for anyone who has you've made up your mind, you want to contest for the highest office of our country. Why would you want to think about swapping?
I get that.
When you do that, you are really deceiving.
I mean, I've seen messages of people challenging the swap analysis that it didn't happen.
I think I was close.
It didn't happen.
I was close to the action. I don't think Mr. Palu has been in the system for a while.
Yeah.
And he would have wished to get a number, maybe that number. So I don't think so. And we
you know, if you go through the list, I mean, this is not a question that you can give us a mathematical answer, but if you go through the list, you find that ruling parties often get number 1, 96, J.J. Rawlings, 2008, NPP, 2012, NDC, 2020, NPP, all of them ruling parties.
You know, the way, you know, these are based on probabilities.
Yes,
but when you look at, like, Mr. Nimaku, who picked for the NPP, picking number 1, out of 9 parties, you are looking at a chance of about 11.12%.
To be number 1.
To be any number. To be any number.
Yeah.
To be any number. So to be able to get what you prefer or what you have estimated or anticipated to get, it could be by chance. And you know, those who stake Lotto will tell you at times, in US, Britain, and out of several numbers, 10 million people, 1 person can win.
Okay.
So it's very
Let's come to the concerns, the complaints that the NDC had made in their press statements. I've seen your press statement, but they make an allegation that seems quite wild. They say, for instance, that there are 2 230-something thousand people. So they say that there was a failure to provide provisional voters register in time for scrutiny. They say that about 243,540 votes were transferred illegally. In fact, it's coming on the back of a court ruling in Kumasi, circuit court ruling in Kumasi yesterday in Menchia South, where the court has denied a significant number of transfers that the NDC was occasioning in the Menchia South constituency. So it raises issues about this particular one. Is it possible that 243,000 votes had been transferred illegally? Tell us about the votes transfer and how it occurs.
No, we've addressed this in our response to the NDC.
What did you say?
Well, basically, we made the point that it wasn't an illegal transfer. What happened was that in generating the data for the transfers, the transfers that occur, this register was compiled in 2020, initially compiled in 2020. In 2020, we had some transfers. The law allowed students and some security personnel in 2020 to transfer. And we did another registration in 2023 ahead of the district assembly elections. We also had some people who transferred from one place to another. Then we also had 2024, this year, the transfers this year. So what happened was that in generating the data, the system added 2020, 2023, 2024 transfers.
Oh, I see.
So technically, this is not, it's not an illegality.
Oh,
what happened
I
was
see.
that, so assuming the one of the constituencies that came up, the constituency of the minority leader, they were supposed to get about 2,554 or so transfer votes. But they ended up with about 4,000. And it's because the 2021, the system arranged it that all the transfers, let's put them together. So this is not an illegality. The 243,000, these are people who genuinely transferred their votes. So as we speak now, the commission has addressed it. So currently we have a disaggregated version of the transfers, that of 2020, 2023, and 2020.
Have you sent that to the NDC to inspect?
No, what we've told the NDC is that we want all the parties, and especially the NDC, we've invited them to the discussion table. Because the point is that we are working on the registers. No, the process, you mentioned what happened in Menchia South about the circuit court judge. Or we are implementing those decisions. So we need to finish all. Yeah, we need to finish all those processes. Then when we finish, the data will be frozen once that process.
Did you also address the NDC alleges that 3,957 voters previously registered were deleted from the 2024 provisional register without explanation?
So we've done that, and when we met the NDC, we had a meeting with the NDC. In that meeting, when they mentioned this particular list, they identified one person who was missing. In that particular meeting, we mentioned to them that this person you are saying is missing is actually in the register. And Mr. Oche, we've made the point clear that all the concerns that were identified during the exhibition exercise, as well as those that were raised by the NDC, the Commission has addressed them. And it's the reason why we've invited the NDC, and next week we are going to have a meeting with the political parties. We will show them all the challenges that were identified during the exhibition exercise and what the Commission has done about them.
I see. So as of now, as far as you are concerned at the Commission, these are not issues that
these are not issues
that
these are
should
not
bother
issues.
anybody.
What the law provides, CI 91, as amended by CI 126, regulations 23 and 24, the law is very, very clear that the exhibition is an avenue to address discrepancies in the register. Because when you register, you are gathering raw data. You now go back to exhibit. Because some people, because the registration is mostly done offline. And at times, when you are loading the data, someone who registered, the name will not show up. So the exhibition is an avenue to do all that. And it's the same process we use in 2020.
Before we come to the voting day operation, let's get back to the posturing and the psychological operations and things going on. The NDC seems to have taken a position against the Electoral Commission one way or the other. They had refused to come to IPAC for a long time.
They've started coming to IPAC.
They refused for a while, but they've started coming. Yeah, they unsuccessfully sued the Electoral Commission after 2021's election. They lost the case. And so there's a bit of hostility between the NDC and the Electoral Commission. In these circumstances, do you endorse your commissioner in his press conference indicating to the NDC that they probably haven't been looking at the voters register because in 2016, people were represented by trees and all of that.
I think
the NDC took that comment very badly.
I think people have misconstrued that particular phrase or that particular comment. What the point we were making was that in the 2016 register, somebody will register, let's say Paul Ochre, Bosman Asare. Then you go to the exhibition center, and that person, instead of the picture of that person, there will be a plant, a flower.
Is that true? Did it happen?
Yes, and what we are saying is that we didn't say that to spite the NDC. We're only making that when you collect the data, it's a raw something you have collected. So the display of the register is a process of cleaning, and that is what is provided in Regulation 23, Regulation 24.
No, but he said that the NDC may not have been looking at the voters register. Otherwise, they would have seen that.
No, because that thing was there. So what we were trying to make the point that by exhibiting the register, you see some of this. And it will even shock you. You may go, and your name will appear over there, but you'll be indicated as a female. Yes. And that's what the exhibition does. About. You may go there and your picture.
So has the exhibition been done?
Exhibition has been done.
Finished?
Finished.
I didn't go and check anything in the exhibition.
No, but
am I still a voter?
You are still a voter.
How do I know that?
No, the online system we introduced, the electronic.
So I go on my phone now and verify whether I'm still a voter.
It's still available.
If I want to transfer my vote right now, is it too late?
Now it's too late. You cannot transfer.
If I want to do special voting, what should I do?
That one is also too late.
Oh, special voting is done.
Yeah,
also.
We have the register. We display the special voting.
So journalists have registered for special voting, military people,
and we have this is the highest
police
number.
People. How many did you get?
I think I need to cross check, but we are doing over 130,000
of special voting.
Of special voting.
What date are they voting?
2nd December.
And the rest of us are voting on the 7th.
On the 7th. And the 2nd December, I know we have almost about 300, over 300 polling stations.
You use for 2nd December.
How
do they vote parliament, the special voters?
No, they also vote there, that same place.
So they indicate, if you are registering special voting, indicate the parliamentary
no,
candidate.
you don't, when you go there, we have the ballot for the presidential as well as the ballot for the parliament.
But which constituency are you going to give me?
No, it's your own constituency.
The one I indicated.
So I vote at Ladede Kutupong. So on 2nd December, I'm a special voter. When I go there, I'll vote for the president if really I want to vote on December 2nd. If I want to.
And then Ladede Kutupong will be one of the parliamentary options there.
So the parliamentary option will be
other people in the same place in the special voting will be voting for Gumpugu Yoyo, Tamale. You're going to bring all of those ballots.
Yeah,
that's a complicated job.
When we finish, we keep them at the police.
No, I mean for the special voting, we have 100,000 people.
Over 100,000, almost.
You may have a situation where the 100,000 people are voting in 210 constituencies for parliament. No, are you going to bring all that?
Bring us in.
So you have 100,000 people.
Yes.
They all have their parliamentary places.
Yes.
That they are voting.
No, they are not converging at one place. Everyone
you go there.
You go to your constituency. So if you vote in Japan,
so if there are 210 parliamentary
276 options.
Yeah, there are 276. Assuming that the 100,000 are voting in 210. Somehow you didn't find people who are voting in the rest. Everybody is going to their constituency.
Yes, you are going.
So if I'm a police officer working in Accra and my vote is in Tamale and I'm voting in Tamale South,
yes, you have
I'm going to Tamale South to do the special voting.
Unless you transferred your vote to Accra.
Oh, I thought the special voting is done at one place.
No,
all special voting
at the same constituency.
So it's across the country.
Across the country.
But so you don't count.
We don't count on that day. We wait till the December 7th. Then we add that to the rest. So and as we speak, all the 276 constituencies, there will be special voting.
There will be special voting, okay.
Some people have more numbers. So some places are going to have about 2 centers. 2 centers for the special voting, but the same location. A number of them have only one.
Okay, let's come to that point. On voting day, you go to the polling station. Now you say you have what, 40,000?
About 40,000.
Yes,
we use
over 40,000 polling stations.
Almost 600.
So you go to the polling station and you check your name. You join the queue.
You join
check your name when it's your turn.
Then you go and vote.
You give you a presidential ballot. How many? Is it going to be 2 pages ballot, or you don't know that yet?
Oh, in 2020 we had 12 candidates, and it was only one sheet. One sheet.
Now you have 13.
Now we have 13. So I don't see how it's going to be so different.
Okay.
So now technology has advanced, so we do.
So you have that one.
We have that one.
So I take that for presidential. I stamp print, and then indelible ink will be available.
No, the indelible ink will apply when you have finished the entire process.
How do you tampering? The thing
that
in the boot.
That one
there's
is
ink
in the
boot.
There's ink in the boot.
So when you finish,
one in the
then you
presidential
indelible ink yourself so that you cannot come back.
Cannot come back. And the good thing is that.
But don't they take your name and cancel it?
They take and cancel, and because we are also using biometric. Once with the ink, if even you try as much and you're able to clean it and you come,
the biometric will find you out.
And in 2020, we had almost 13.4 million people voted. Out of that, only about 11,000 did not go through the biometric verification.
Oh, that was significant success.
And those people went through a manual form of verification. Their names were identified in the register. So if you are not a registered voter, don't dare.
How many people are you expecting to vote now? More than 13 million?
Now, 2020 we had 13.4, almost 13.4, and now the register we are doing almost 18.8. So assuming the numbers hold as they did in 2020, we had a voter turnout of almost 79%. Some regions did a little over 80%. Then some did almost 83, 82. Some
that's
did,
impressive.
But we don't know whether the same numbers are going to.
So you take the paper and then you go to the
presidential
booth and presidential. You vote presidential first.
Yes, that's what we
did. You can't choose. You have to vote presidential first.
That's what we did.
Okay, then you go to parliament. Then you pick it and then you vote and you are gone.
You are gone.
When the process is over at 6 o'clock, whatever time, what happens?
When the process is over, we close at 5 p.m. And once you are in the queue, you'll be allowed
to vote. When everybody has voted.
When everybody has voted, then the presiding officer.
Who's an Electoral Commission official?
It's Electoral Commission temporary official.
Oh, yes.
Let me put it that way.
I want to distinguish them from the political party officials.
That's an Electoral
Commission official. The presiding officer. Okay, what happens?
And his job is now because the parties have their agents there, to bring all of them together to open the ballot.
So they open the ballot and pour it out on the table.
And pour it out and do the sorting.
Why do they need to do the sorting, and who is doing the sorting?
No, we have our team. We have the presiding officer.
So political parties are not doing the sorting.
The political parties, their agents are there to observe the process and.
Do they touch the papers during the sorting?
Technically, they are not supposed to, because you are there. The job is a job for the Electoral Commission officials. That's the presiding officer plus the 4 other persons at the poll.
Will the security insist that political party officials should step back during the sorting? The reason why I'm asking is that there's been complaints by various political parties of something they call Yomo Mafia, where they put their hands on touch the ballots, because you can, when you see a ballot paper, even if it's closed, you can tell the position of the candidate, and you can tell that this vote is for John Mahama, this vote is for Bawumia. So you touch the ballot paper. If you are opposite John Mahama or opposite Bawumia, you touch the ballot paper in such a way that when counting comes, it's a spoiled ballot.
No, the party agents are not allowed to do that. And at the polling station,
do they get near it?
They are supposed to be at vantage points where they can see the process, so that in case, let's say, a ballot issuer is giving 2 ballot papers to someone, they can see. But they are not supposed to interfere.
Who is enforcing this at that time?
At the polling station, the one in charge is the presiding officer.
And the police with him?
No, the security persons are
police people listen to the presiding officer.
They take instructions because the presiding officer is the one in charge. So once you are an agent and you misconduct yourself, the presiding officer is empowered to tell the security that this person should be taken away from the center. And the party
are the political party agents allowed to bring their own personal security into the perimeter?
No, they are not allowed.
If it's in the Ashanti region and the NDC official feels that in a hostile territory, can they bring their own security? No, it's not
done, because we work with the Election Security Task Force control under the auspices of the Ghana Police, and so they make sure.
So everybody should feel secure.
And they've gathered their intelligence. There are certain places, if in their wisdom, this place will require more than one security person, they do that. So in the training we give to our officials, presiding officer, we tell them to maintain a very serene environment at the polling station to ensure that the right things are done. And about 99% of the time, the agents do conduct themselves.
So after the thing has been sorted, so sorting means separating NDC's vote from MPP votes. So you're going to separate at this level for the presidential, you're going to be separating 13.
Yes.
That's a tall order. So when you finish separating, how does the counting start? Whose are they counting first?
Usually what they do is that on the basis of the ballot.
Oh, so they count the first.
And in many instances, for many polling stations, some of the candidates from what we saw in 2020, some of them may not even get. So I think the counting is not so much of a problem.
It's mainly NDC and PP.
Mainly NDC. And
so when they finish counting, what?
Metro TV. Insightful and inspiring moments.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
Oh, hallelujah. Praise God. Christianity is not a religion, neither is it a joining of a church and doing the Christian things like praying and giving and so on. Hallelujah.
Included from collecting a food pack from one of the political parties?
Usually we don't do, because what we do
if
is,
I have jollof and
we
have enough.
During their training, we tell them you don't take anything from any candidate.
But sitting in the center.
So we tell them to prepare.
No, but you sitting in the center doing your work, how would you know whether
we tell
in a Jusu job your official has collected jollof from the MPP?
We tell the presiding officers to ensure, and we do monitoring when we are doing elections. We commissioners to check on what's happening. So, and you don't want to get to the point where commission will put a red flag against your name that we will not be engaging you. So, because we don't want them to collect anything from anyone, we tell them to be fully prepared. If you know you have
now
to
you get
to
collation center, you've already pasted polling station results on the notice board.
Yes.
The Supreme Court said that if anyone can capture all those polling station results across the country, that person doesn't need the Electoral Commission. That's the results. Is that correct?
Yeah, the parliamentary election, the collation done at the Constituency Collation Center is mainly putting together the results from all the polling stations in that constituency. Do
you do regional? Now, after the Constituency Coalition, what's going to happen?
Now we have in the CI Commission. The commission in 2020 took the decision that although Ghana is a presidential democracy and the whole of Ghana is one constituency, But Ghana is divided into 276 constituency. So although it's one constituency, the voting takes place at the various and we also Karachi West. Why don't we have a system whereby we will know the presidential results for Uti? So the parties will now have agents at the regional level. But when you look at even the structure of our country, our decentralization system, we have the central government, the regional level, and for the constituency collated results. So in Ashanti region, where we have 47 constituencies, all the 47 constituency results will now come to Kumasi. Then the regional collation officer and the agents of the parties will also be there.
To do what? Is
to put together
another level of verification?
Another level of verification.
Because the constitution say and say that we're adding Ofori Krom's results to this.
To get the presidential for Ashanti region.
Oh, I see. You are adding them. So it's not about the parliamentary.
It's not about the parliamentary.
Oh,
so
the
parliamentary
thing is about the presidential.
The parliamentary, the final point is the constituency.
It's done.
Where the returning officer, so
will declare the results.
This is what happens at the announces the results of the presidential election. But for the parliamentary election, the returning officer declares the results.
Oh, he declares the results.
So the declaration is the final stage.
At the constituency
level.
The
constituency.
But
for the presidential is only the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Jane Mensah.
Yeah.
Some do for Mrs. Mensah at the constituency level. So the same returning officer will announce presidential results at the constituency level. It's not final.
But that's not the final.
That's not the final.
So will the person say this are the provisional results?
These are the provisional
for this constituency.
Yes.
Ladadeko
to
President John Mahama X. This one Y.
Yes.
Okay.
Then before Ladadeko to
okay, the national is at your office.
The national is here.
Okay.
So they put the regional.
But why is man?
That is part of Greater Accra.
Yes, indeed. Wow.
We are supposed to have our office.
The one in Kumasi is where?
The one in Kumasi is at Ishaiso. It's near the regional coordinator.
That's quite regional. That's quite central, but Sapeman is.
But Sapeman is also regional.
So
when you look at it, the results at polling station A, and we just mentioned that we are doing almost 40,650 or so polling stations. So those are the results that are put together. But because we cannot put all of them together, just imagine at the head office we demanding 40,650 polling station results. Constituency, the parties have their agents there, and there's a constituency summary form where they will sign to show what each candidate.
Let's talk about the strong room finally. Are you going to have that?
Now I think that mystery and getting the strong room is no longer there.
Why?
Because at the national level, we only had results of 16 regions.
Well, that's the only job national where political parties and independent candidates have their agents.
Yes, they have their agents.
And they will see you receiving the regional
results.
results.
When the results are sent to the national office, they see it. They will send it to us and we show it to them.
So Ashanti region is sending you presidential results for Ashanti region.
Ashanti region.
Where they are showing you John Mahama and Bawumia have X millions Ashanti region. Okay, so then it will be easy for journalists to say who won the Ashanti region.
Oh, that's why. And they did that in 2020.
Yeah. I see.
So when you look at it, no strong. So in 2020, parties, there was another layer of checks and balances. Apart from the sent.
I remember Betty Mold was in Ashanti for the NDC.
They did that. Yeah. And we think that we are enhancing transparency. We are enhancing checks and balances.
So when the election is fought on December 7th, when will Madam G mention December?
By convention,
yeah.
It's something we are going to operate within that.
Madam so by Chair, 10 December, people are expecting
we should be.
What about the voting on Saturday, the SDA situation?
No, I think that one hasn't changed, and we think that since this is once every 4 years, and consider, because I think that they are interested in.
They can vote and go to church.
Oh yeah, they
or
can,
go to church and come
vote.
back.
And you know, our equipment, the biometric verification, they work very, very fast, very, very quick. So
the queues will be running very quickly.
I remember in 2020.
Yes, we were queue for more than 5
GIS,
people.
Aquinas, and W.E. Du Bois Center. Within in the morning, between 7 and 8
I heard that report, but people were attacking you for the places that you went to. They said you should go to Ashaman and Nima. You're going to GIS and the queue will be small. Go to Labadi. That's where you see a queue.
But in the morning,
and then we can be wrapping up. One is for the media, and it's the nightmare that we have on voting night when we are reporting the results. There's a plea from us, first of all, to other journalists, the Electoral Commission, to have bring an amendment to the CIs you've been doing to change the names of some of the constituencies. Because sitting here, so if my producer, I know Adanta, Ladadekotopon, because I live there, I know there. And if you look across other countries, constituencies are named by the place, so people can see. So you have Kole Klote, which is Osu and Adabraka. And Asalamda. See that with your have SDA says that, Christian said this, Muslim said this. So we know Friday is sacred for Muslims, Saturday is sacred for SDA, Sunday is sacred for the other Christian community. So the first, second Wednesday of December is our voting day. Maybe we should be looking at these amendments.
You know, this year the commission, together with the IPAC members, took that decision. But at the time, members felt that why don't we look at it in 20?
Oh, for the next election.
For the next 20.
Voting day.
For the names it's difficult because there are a lot of traditional.
Oh yeah, so you appeal to the traditional people.
So
we know that is connected. But in terms of communicating, it is the Osu Asalam that
that makes it.
But easier. Why do we call Medina? Medina is Medina.
Medina is
Ayawaso West Wogon. It took a. That's the name of the constituency.
I know some of the places when you go. I know
Bantama is Bantama.
But I know a place like Jasikai. I think the district is Jasikai, and the constituency is called Buim.
Yes.
In Ashanti region, Sokoremampo, the district is Sokoremampo, and the constituency is Swansea.
Yeah, so for those of us who are working
that, so
on
I think it's something we have to look at it, because at the time when they mention, I know this constituency in Eastern region, is it Odotobri?
Yes, Odotobri is
Ashanti. It's Ashanti.
Yeah.
I think there's one, they quite Bibrim. When I think it's also Kede, so at times it can.
Yeah. Wow.
So we need to look at it.
You're going to be very busy from now to December.
Yeah, I think we
What's
are
your normal work schedule these days?
Working, and as you rightly pointed out, we are doing a lot. But we need to make sure we set a very high standard for ourselves in 2020.
You did, yeah.
And we think
especially the process of the voting.
The process, and we think that we have to beat it. And you know, in 2020, the EU Observer Mission, they came way before the elections. During the election, they were here. After the election, they were around. Look at the register we have. With the exception of Cape Verde in West Africa, Cape Verde's population is almost like Medina, less than 600,000. They have almost 55% of their people on the voters register. Apart from them, it's only Ghana doing almost 54.5%. The Electoral Commissions, our activities, this is the only country in West Africa where almost everyone who is qualified to register as a voter, you go to Cote d'Ivoire, you go to Togo, you go to Nigeria, you look at the numbers, then maybe you may end up concluding that maybe those who are 18 are more in Ghana.
Remember to have biscuits. Rojo Metal Nunu wanted some biscuits with a tea the other day.
Actually,
so
we had it in 2020.
Oh, but he complained that he
didn't want it.
Oh, he didn't want it. Okay.
Well, we had it.
Then get some biscuits and then send some to the hard-working studios where people are reporting.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Because we're having sleepless nights. Yeah. Thank you, Bosman Asare.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure. That was Bosman Asare. Yeah. And this is Good Evening Ghana. Thank you very much, Bosman Asare. 25 minutes on the top of the hour at 11 o'clock. Sorry, we're closing late again. This is Good Evening Ghana is live. What I have, without much ado, let me go to the text message. Yeah, see what people are saying. I'd like. I see the cameraman dashing to try and take a photograph of her, so that you can see her. Yes, there she is. Okay, all right. So Tara, you first then.
So Dash Stinkan said, mind you all that the foreign media does not like positive news from Africa, especially when you are a country that is known of good stories. They will always do. That part is that they use our own color people to get the info. Hamid Abdul Sam say, Paul stands out as an exemplary journalist renowned for his diligence and commitment to reporting verifiable matters of national. With just a handful of journalists of his caliber in the Ghanaian media landscape, the country with les médias étrangers n'aiment pas les informations positives à propos de l'Afrique, car à chaque fois qu'il y a un pays qui a de bonnes histoires et qui tient la route, il y aura toujours des gens pour essayer de nous rabaisser. La seule mauvaise nouvelle qui peut être dite, and I will give the mic to my colleague.
Dash Thinking again, he says, I have always said Cheddar was supposed to start his political career from standing as an independent member of parliament for any of the constituencies for the last 4 years to build his knowledge and experience in the political system. That would have Ben Aite says, I personally believe the demonstration on the Galamsey is rather to the benefit of the NPP government. They are rather creating a broader awareness. Now, the chiefs who condoned the Galamseyers themselves of government efforts, supported by CTFM, would realize how unpopular they are. Lastly, from Ayub Tahiru, he says, good evening, Paul. Please ask him for me. The special voters, where are they going to keep the ballot papers? And how?
All right, thank you. So this is coming from Nana Akasi, and he says, splendid education on the electoral processes. Good evening, Ghana. Alhaji Popsidi says the NDC will lose this election, inshallah. Kambari Mohammed says, actually, I've learned a lot from this show. Mobi Kontimaku says, please ask Dr. Bosman if they have any problems and what will cause any results to be annulled. To you, Angelo.
We have James saying, if you think the protesters did nothing wrong, here's a summary of demonstrations. Its primary purpose is to ensure that public order and public safety are maintained during such events. And then he lists some key provisions of the Public Order Act. Moving on, we have Kweku Opoku saying, there's nothing like demonstration. Paul. These people went out there with a very bad intent of creating confusion. pulling down billboards, lawless acts, etc. What kind of democracy is this? I commend the Ghana police for doing an excellent job. Their agenda was not met. This is according to Kweku. And lastly, we have Mubashir saying, going forward, for the avoidance of doubt, let's introduce the Ghana card.
Thursday night is 29 minutes to the top of the hour at midnight. Thank you very much to all our young people in the studio, volunteering at the back and working with us and supporting us. We're beginning to put our election program in together, and we have a big edition for you on the 5th of December. Today is the first time we had a meeting on how we do the election program. We started our plans. 5th December, we have a big show for you. Again on Tuesday.